want to turn your attention now to July 5th, that Thursday, 2018. Do you remember about what time you got out at the scene?
Approximately 3:20 p.m.
And do you remember how you got there?
I was tasked with going and getting our big crime scene truck, so I drove it to the scene.
You don't have a police patrol vehicle or anything like that? Is a crime scene
At the
unit
time,
truck?
I did not, yeah.
What is in this vehicle that you drove out there?
It just contains generally all the things we could possibly need, so any test kits, equipment, things like that.
And when you got out to the scene, what do you remember seeing when you first got out there?
It was a very bucolic setting. It was very pretty, reminiscent of where I used to work. Horses. I saw the barn across the field. Came up to the house, parked, very nicely landscaped.
Were you surprised to be working a murder there?
Yes.
When you first arrived, what level or what stage were you at and what type of investigation was going on?
There were quite a few personnel there, but Rachel and I were very new, so we were tagging along behind Lieutenant Ballard and Sergeant Shaw. So we followed them to the back of the house just to do a cursory preview, and the area had been cordoned off with tape.
Did you go out to the burn pit?
Yes.
Do you remember what it was like?
It was still smoldering a little bit. I was told it was still hot. I couldn't tell you for sure who determined that. But it didn't appear to have much left that was unburned.
Was the task for the crime scene technicians, was it broken up to certain kind of divide and conquer things at the scene?
Yes.
I think Lieutenant Stewart was doing like the barn and the tractor, and then other people were at the burn pile. I think Shaw was there. What were you tasked with doing?
Once we determined that we were going to wait on the state anthropologist to come assist, I was tasked with photographing the exterior and interior of the residence, just taking overall photos.
A couple of things we're going to talk about. So you took outside photographs, is that right?
Yes.
And then at some point you went inside to help process, I think, kind of from the kitchen, the basement door to the steps.
Yes.
And then there's some, what I'm calling some blood trails or blood droppings down in the basement that you were, the stairs themselves and also in the basement floor.
Correct.
And then you help package everything and transport everything. And I believe, for the most part, I think you came back another day and would collect a bunch of cartridge cases and things like that.
That was well after the time period.
But I believe almost a year later, a little over a year later, you came back and collected some firearms, ammunition, and other things there.
Yes.
And that was on the back side of the property, is that right?
Yes, the northwest corner, I believe.
Now, I've got, how we're marking the evidence is going to be your last name by number and going through. Do you have an opportunity to meet with me a couple times and look at all your photographs?
Yes. And
all the photographs that we went over, including photographs, we'll talk about that, were not at the time of the scene, but shows how the house, the furniture in the house, and then sometimes some photographs without furniture in it. In other words, things that were online that showed how the house looked with furniture and without furniture.
Yes.
So Thrasher 1 through 288, did you have an opportunity, are all those fair and accurate photographs as you know it to be in this case?
Yes.
So at this time I'm going to turn to evidence Thrasher 1 through Thrasher 288.
All right, any objections? All right, they're admitted.
You can either look at these or they're admitted. You can on the screen too, so I'll put them over there in case you want to look at it. Hopefully you can see them on the screen. What I plan to do is kind of walk through the evidence, but arrange in such a way that we can kind of talk about it as we go. But this is Thrasher 1. Tell us what we're seeing here.
As you come in the driveway from the road, this would be your first view of the house.
Thrasher 2, this pine tree in the middle, can you kind of point to the front door of the residence? Or just, is it, I'll move my mouse, is it right here?
Yes.
Thrasher 3, if you're standing on that main floor, that deck that has that round part to it, is this what you would be looking at?
Yes, looking towards the barn.
Thrasher 4, what do we have here?
I believe, oh, that's from the front door looking out.
Now this is one of those that was from online for the house.
Yes.
If I was opening that front door, this is Thrasher 5, if I'm standing there and looking at this photograph 5, what is in front of us here?
As you walk in the door, that's your first view, is the stairs that go up, or the stairs to upstairs.
If I was standing there and I took a step to the right, what am I going to see?
The kitchen.
And if I took a step to the left, what would I see?
There's a short hallway to a guest bath, and then there's a mud room and a laundry room.
And then those doors right there, halfway down that wall, what is that area there?
It was at the time sort of a library room.
And if I walked down that hallway to the back of the house, would I go to the master bedroom?
Yes.
6, just looking back to the front door.
Correct.
7, just looking at an angle going towards the kitchen where a kitchen table is going to be. Is that right?
Yes. Yes.
8, what's this here?
Looking back from the front wall of the house towards the kitchen, and then into a family room type area past the kitchen.
If I was standing in this photograph, as it appears, and I would walk left, would I be walking to the front door?
Yes.
Now, orient that there's a fireplace on that far wall down there. Is that right?
Yes.
Now, going to that fireplace and standing, is this the view you would see in 8? Excuse me. Yes, 9. Looking back.
Correct.
Kind of moving the fireplaces to my back to the left. Is this another view? So you see there's other doors going out to the other side of the house?
Yes.
Now, I'm not sure technically if you drive up the driveway and go through, if you could drive through the garage, that's kind of, to me, is kind of north. So you got the east side, which is the pond on, and the west side. But both sides of this house had a deck, is that right?
Yes.
One over the pond is round, the other one's not.
Correct.
All right. Looking at 11, where we're standing here, if I walk down this hallway, would the library or study room be on my right?
Yes.
And then was the door here to the left that's open? Where does that lead to?
That goes down to the basement.
Where this is at, I have the mouse, the hand. Did you find what you believe to be blood or blood droppings?
Yes, on the just closest to where the landing ends before you go downstairs.
And I believe there are about 12 steps down. There's a landing, you turn right, and then 4 steps down. Is that right?
Yes.
Tell the jury what you found, what type of blood evidence or evidence you find on those steps.
It appeared to be blood that possibly was attempted to be, or someone tried to clean it up, possibly. It was very dilute looking.
And then once you got on the floor down below, is this the basement where there's a bar?
Yes.
Now, if I walked out the steps and stood off the steps, the bar's in front of you,
Yes.
and then kind of to the right is the living room area.
Yes.
This is Thrasher 13. If I'm standing what I call those the American doors, they kind of just slide like this.
Yes.
You know, I call them the American doors. You slide. If I'm standing in front of those doors, looking back to the steps, is the steps right here where this pointer is?
Correct.
And then this hallway, if you went down that, would that have been Gary's bedroom?
Correct.
And if you came down this hallway, it would lead to his office,
And the media room.
media room, movie room.
Yes.
Now, standing, number 14, if I'm standing kind of at the steps, this is the area here that we're going to be talking about.
Yes. It had a couch and chair.
Now, this is from the internet for the house, but this is Thrasher 15. At the bottom of this photograph, what is here that I've got the pointer on?
The garage.
And then there's I guess a mud room and laundry room you're referring to.
Yes.
Porch, the front door here.
Correct.
Standing at the front door again. You turn right, goes to what area?
The kitchen area.
You turn left, comes down to, I think there's a bathroom here.
Yes.
Walk down hallway. What do we have here?
The study or library.
You go up the steps and go to the second floor.
Correct.
Deck on this left side if you're facing the front door, is that right?
Yes.
Deck on the right side, the big circular deck.
Yes.
Is this where the fireplace is?
Yes.
As I go with the mouse, if you're walking along that deck, you could go and there's a door here. It goes into the master bedroom.
Correct.
16. This is the second floor.
Correct.
Come up the steps. You have to kind of turn around 180, and then basically on this level is there 2 main bedrooms.
Yes.
One room here, then another room, and then a bathroom. Is that right?
Correct.
Thrasher 17, when we're looking at the floor plans of the basement. Coming down the 12 steps, you hang around and go down the 4 here to the landing. Is that right?
Yes.
Walk up a little bit, and then you kind of go to the right, and there's, in this picture it says recreation room, but is this where the Farrises had the couches and things like that?
Yes, there was TV in there too.
This bedroom was where Gary's bedroom was at.
Yes.
CPAP machine was in there.
Yes.
Go down this hallway, hang a left, there's the movie room or media room.
Yes.
And then here it says workshop, but it was his office.
Correct.
French doors here.
Yes.
Go back to the living room area, the American doors or the sliding open doors here.
Yes.
And for reference, starting at the kitchen, down the steps, all the steps, and then there's going to be blood at the corner leading out into this area, you believe?
Yes.
That was back in 1972.
I'll rephrase. When you come down the steps here,
Yes.
was there anything leading from this area to this area?
Yes, there were what appeared to be drops of blood.
And then this area, do you end up finding something collecting it?
Yes, there was a projectile.
$18, is that just a picture of the house?
Correct.
19, another picture.
Yes.
20, front door.
Yes.
21, garage.
Yes.
22, front door again.
Yes.
23, showing the porch going around to the master bedroom.
Yes.
24, a view looking at the pond.
Correct.
25, looking back to the barn.
Yes.
26, this is looking back towards the house from over the pond, is that right?
Yes.
27,
Barn.
28, inside the barn.
Yes.
29, inside the main house, the walking in the front door, seeing the stairs.
Yes.
30, is this the master bedroom?
Yes.
Notice the doors here that
Right.
walk out to the balcony, is that right?
Yes.
Master bathroom,
Yes.
keep going around. Now this is the bedroom upstairs, the main bedroom.
Correct.
Then what I'm calling the kids' bedroom, the other guest bedroom upstairs.
Correct.
Bathroom. 37, library.
Yes.
38, I guess the dining room.
Yes.
39, the other dining room. 40, the other deck.
Correct.
41, 42, the kitchen.
Yes.
Going back down to the basement. And was this, these are pictures that were online, but was this how the house was mainly furnished when you were there?
Yes, generally speaking.
Now, Thrasher 47, we're getting into photographs that you took on July 5th, 2018, is that right?
Correct.
Tell the jury what we're seeing here. So this is when you're at the scene. Do you do this first, or do you do other stuff first?
Typically we do a brief walkthrough just to get, information from whomever was first responders is what typically happens. So we had walked around the back first, and then I came back and started photographing once tasked to do that.
This is the first one, I think, in your series. 47,
Yes.
48, 49. And what do we have down here? What type of livestock can you tell?
I think it's goats. Goats, looks like. I don't recall the goats from the time period, but they made it in my picture. So
All right. 50, what is this?
the front door, leading to the front door.
51, you're going to be walking, I guess, around the east side of the house. 52, 53, 54, 55, 6, 7, 58, now to the other side.
Yes.
59, 60. Picture of, what's 61?
They had a chicken coop. It had storage too, I believe.
And then 67 is showing a walkway down to the basement area.
Yes.
Did you have information of where Gary was living in the house and where the defendant was living in the house?
I believe I was informed of that prior to going in, but I couldn't tell you exactly who may have passed that information along.
All right, 68, this is a picture of the stairs.
Yes.
This is if you walk in the front door and turn left, is this what we would see?
Yes.
And what is that down at the end? I think it's in the next picture, just a bathroom?
Yes.
Now, if you're standing at the front door and you turn right, is this the view that we see in 71?
Yes.
Now, go and stand where you're at in 71 and kind of look to the kitchen. Is this how the house appeared? This is the state of the house when you came on July 5th?
Correct.
Opulent, lots of stuff there, nice things.
Very nice.
73, still the kind of kitchen area.
Yes.
74, looking back to the front door. Uh, 78, I noticed you got a dog in the picture there.
I did.
Yeah. 79. So we just walked through the house. Did you notice anything out of the ordinary on the first level there?
Just the blood droplet at the top of the stairs.
Now we're going to move upstairs. No, this will be the master bedroom.
That's on the main floor, yeah.
Okay,
That's
so let me
master.
back up to Thrasher 94. We're standing at the door, looking into the master bedroom. Is that right?
Yes,
The bed in the room,
correct.
the door,
Out to the porch. Hmm.
and then going around the room back to the door.
Yes.
We going into the bathroom now.
Yes.
Now 108. Are we on the back deck?
Yes.
111. This is outside of the master bedroom.
Yes. Yes. It's upstairs.
Beginning of 115, we're going into, what room is this we're going to be looking at?
That's sort of a mud room. The door there leads into the garage, and then to the right is where the laundry room is.
So 115, that's the garage door.
Yes.
If I step down off this step here and turn right, this is the washroom.
Yes.
And is this the state that you found things when you took photographs,
Yes.
including what was inside that?
Correct.
On states 116. The towels or whatnot in there. 117, door there. Just in the
It
same
goes-
areas, all
Yes. Yeah.
Then states 125, where are we at now?
In the garage.
Do you know this vehicle to be any of the people involved?
I think I was told it may have been Ms. Farris's vehicle. I'm not sure.
As we go through that, just a photograph of 130. What's this a photograph of?
Wells Fargo receipts. Looks like from an ATM.
And what was the available balance there?
$11,046.85.
131, just more receipts? Okay.
Yes.
Looks like this is a receipt from Scottsdale Farm Inc.
It's a nursery.
All right, now these 133, we're going to head upstairs. Is that what you were doing?
Yes.
$136. You stand at the top of the stairs. Is there a bedroom to your left and a bedroom to your right and a bathroom in the front?
Yes.
$141. Did you learn that there were some grandkids basically staying over?
I did.
So we're going to be walking what I'm calling the kids' room.
Right.
There was three beds in this room.
Yes.
This would have been on the right, I believe, and then the two on the left.
Correct.
Then in this room, looking at 145, I'm just calling it Amanda room because there's a picture of Amanda on the side here as reference. And then now going downstairs to the basement, this is 151. What do we have here?
That's the movie room, theater room.
There's literally a theater room.
Say that. Repeat.
Literally, it was a theater
Yes,
room
yes.
to watch movies.
Yes.
All right, now 158. What door are we looking at in this photograph?
That's to his office.
So come down the steps to the basement,
Yes.
go a little bit to the right, go down the hallway. That's going to be his office.
You would come down the stairs, take an immediate right, then a left past the bar, and go to the end of the hallway.
And you took photographs just of the office, how it was.
Yes.
And this was, what date were you doing this?
It was July 5th.
And he took a picture of the broken dish there.
Yes.
$177, standing at the office, looking back down the hallway towards the living room, if you would, in the
Yes.
bar. Down this hallway, what's going to be down here?
On the far end would have been his bedroom.
$185. What do we have here on beside Gary's bed?
It's a CPAP machine.
This is 188. How long were you on the property processing everything? We went through it fairly quickly, but I imagine you were there for hours.
I arrived around 3:20 p.m. and then went past midnight. We probably left, I would guess, 1:30 in the morning, the next morning, somewhere around that time.
Long time.
Long time.
What I want to talk about now is, as we go through 189, are you taking photographs and going to document what you believe to be blood and cleanup?
Yes.
191, is there anything significant in this photograph?
Parallel, if the door were shut, there is a blood droplet what appears to be a blood droplet right there adjacent to the door if it was in a closed position.
How did y'all find it? How did you see it?
I believe in the initial walkthrough, we were told that there was some in that area. So we were just very careful about following, proper protocol and looking very carefully before we went forward.
From this area right here, the steps at the top in the kitchen leading down to the basement, is it, I think 12 steps down, is that right?
Approximately, yes.
192, 193, 194. Just closer up, so what you believe to be blood.
Yes.
195 has a photograph here of the steps. What catches your attention with these?
The first step, there's just what I would consider a very diluted possible blood stain. It looks the second white pattern from the right. There's an area there that appears to be stained.
All right, so 196. What are these spots here?
Those were darker. We were not sure as to what that was, but anything we would note anything that possibly could be blood stains.
197. Looking back, a different angle. What do we have here?
Correct. The same. There's as you go down the stairs, there were similar dilute patterns and the dark stains on lots of the steps.
Okay, are you talking about these stains here?
Yeah. Yes.
So this right here, what is this to you?
That it could be a attempt at cleanup. It's hard to say.
And then these are other things you're saying could be blood. Is it consistent with blood?
Yes. I mean, it's a little bit darker than I would think, but you can't know without possibly testing.
As we go on down, you're taking closer photographs of these droppings, is that right?
Yes, you get one shot at a crime scene, so you photograph everything you can.
All right, 205, what is this pattern here?
Similar stains, but darker.
Now, how would you think that was consistent with blood being cleaned up?
Possibly. Bloodstain pattern analysis, different substrates, whatever the blood hits, it will react differently. So it, to me, does appear that there was attempt because it's a little bit broader than if it was just a drop.
207, same thing.
Yes.
208, same thing.
Yes.
And then 212, what do we have here?
Just more of the darker stains that we documented.
On 213, what do we see here?
If I'm standing at the bottom of the step, I am looking towards the bar, and to the right corner where the trim ends on the floor, there,
Uh-huh.
I believe there was a stain there. Yes.
This is 214 we're talking about right here.
Yes.
On 234, we're coming back to the wall,
Yes.
and it's going to be a little hard to see here, but what are you picking up here?
There is a stain, a single stain, looks like from the picture approximately a foot off the wall in the middle of the picture as you have it right now.
Right here?
Yes,
So I'm talking about right here.
correct.
.237, is that what you're talking about?
Yes,
Is that consistent with a blood pattern?
yes. The texture of the floor can change the pattern a little bit, but yes,
238, you're going to come back and mark these with evidence markers, is that right?
correct.
So, but we're talking about this area of the floor.
Yes.
So as we get closer to 241, is this what drew your attention?
Yes.
Now 242, we're here at, what is this thing here in the middle?
It's a floor lamp.
And what's behind it?
That would have been a chair.
And looking down at the side of the floor, what did you take a photograph of?
Just the blood stain adjacent to the floor lamp.
And then 244, another picture.
Yes.
All right. Thrasher 245, tell the jury why it's systematic, it's tedious,
Yes.
we've talked about that, the jury knows what's going on, but you take, I guess, bare photographs and you come back and mark them, is that what you do?
Yes.
And why do you do that?
You want to show the scene as you found it. So before you alter it at all, you take photographs initially. And then we will go back and mark items of evidence as we find them.
Here we got Thrasher 245, this photograph. Tell us, kind of for the record, from the light itself, where that in front of the ottoman with the marker 1, walk us through the numbering and where it's going to in the photograph.
Okay. So this is in the basement next to that floor lamp. Ahead at the end of the hall was his bedroom. To the right is the bar. So the bloodstain pattern, the drops seem to turn to the right and going, I can't say towards or away from, but the numbers follow a line that lead towards the stairs, and then up the stairs is how we numbered them.
The numbering, 1 starts from this end and 4, that is not, you're not saying 1 was here, then next, it's just,
No, I'm not.
those are just markers.
Yes,
And you don't know if it started at 4 and came this way or started at 1 and went that way.
correct.
You just know it is what it is.
Yes.
Looking at 1, did you get a close up here for 247?
Yes.
Tell us, describe the what you believe to be blood and the pattern. What is there anything about that from your training experience that tells you anything?
I review these extensively, and if there is a fast motion of blood falling off of something with the object or person moving, it will create a distinct pattern with what you saw, the spines that come off the drop. So typically, if it's moving quickly in one direction, the spines will all typically be in that direction. These were more broad, kind of in all directions, which would lend me to think that It was a slower motion, and it probably was dropping almost straight down. As I stated before, the texture of what it's falling on affects things too.
2, same thing, is the same similar type?
Yes.
This is 254. What do we see with this evidence marker 2? Evidence marker 1, now evidence marker 2. Ian?
It's just multiple smaller drops. No real directionality in them.
Again, just you think just straight down
Seem
almost?
to be, unless there's a distinct speed to it, they'll generally just look more round.
Now 3, this is evidence marker 3 or EM3.
Yes.
Anything distinctive about this one?
I've looked at that one, and as far as a height goes, that can make a difference. The higher or the more blood volume, it can cause a bigger drop. So the spine's extended further out.
Anything about it being bigger than the other ones in the size relation?
Yes, so possibly more volume.
And then 4 by the corner there.
Right. Similar. It was a little bit bigger drop as well. There's a void in it. Voids can be from various things. I do know he was potentially shot in a rib. So in that, if someone is shot in a rib or shot in the respiratory system, you can also get the...
Yes, I think she's about to go outside of her expertise.
Okay.
She testified to sustain.
So when you see this spot here, is it different than the other ones?
A little bit. It has a void in it.
And it is located closest to the steps, is that right?
That one was, I believe, at the other corner, the one near the hallway that went down to his bedroom.
Right, let me back up and see. The bar here, and then right here, is this the corner here?
Yes.
All right, 260, we've got some markers here back on the steps, just showing things you saw on the steps that you thought could be consistent with blood.
Correct.
Seven, is that consistent with a cleanup, I guess?
Possibly, yes.
And then spots 8 and 9 up the steps.
Yes.
And 10 at the top of the steps.
Correct.
I'm beginning at Thrasher 279. Drawing attention now to this ottoman. Did law enforcement, was it pointed out to you that something was on the floor?
Yes, one of the detectives had come in, and while we were, Lieutenant Ballard and I were attending to the blood drops, they started looking through the room for he was looking for a possible projectile, and it was found there adjacent to the ottoman.
So do you want, let's go to 289. And did you collect that projectile?
Yes.
As it states, Thrasher 289, we just look at that, any gloves or anything? Want some gloves?
If you have some, if not,
I'm not sure if we have any. 10 Davis County states 289.
Okay.
Madam Bailiff, you'll check the jury room. I'm pretty sure there's some in there last time we looked for some. Either on the counter or underneath in the cabinet.
Judge, is there a way to switch over?
Scissors, we need-
I got it, but I just want to go to the
Yeah,
other.
just tell me what you want to do.
All right, just go to the other one. There may be some gloves in the cabinet, they were saying.
No. Well, we found them in the jury room last time we needed them.
Let's let them take care of it.
Okay.
I tell you, all I want you to do is if you take the gloves, I'm gonna hand it to you. If you can just lay it out flat, like just
Okay.
in the center for me, and then tell me, put it on. Oh, thank you. Is that the line? I think we're good, Judge. We're just trying to get so you can see it. That's perfect. All right.
Raise your eyebrows. You have a good sized forehead.
All right, so this is,
Use the dial on the top.
as we're going to go back through the pictures, but this was the bullet. I think the technical term is a projectile that was found on the floor.
Correct.
And was that properly maintained and stored and then sent to the GBI for testing?
Yes.
And was that the only projectile that you found or law enforcement found in the residence?
In the residence, yes.
And is this the shape it is in and the way it looks is pretty much how it was when you collected it from the floor?
I believe it had a little more of a red substance on it, but
Right.
yes.
All right, Judge, we can go back to the. What's that? Yeah. Turn it off. All right, 279. Right here where I have the mouse, the cursor, is that the projectile?
Yes.
280, a closer view.
Yes.
281, even closer.
Yes.
282,
Yes.
283. And then 285. Now, in relation to where the blood from the steps to where the projectile, was it kind of like a straight angle?
Sort of. It was on the other side of the lamp and a bit under the ottoman edge. But generally speaking, it was, you could construe that it's in the same area.
286, 87. Just another view of it. Now, at this point, when you find this, to your knowledge, had the bullet in the ribs already been found?
I would have to know. I don't believe so, but I can't remember the time frame. If I knew the metadata and the timestamp, I might could give you a better idea.
But you were not involved with the outside part, just the inside?
I did assist with raking some around the burn pile.
Now, when it goes to the blood trail from the steps down to the projectile area, I think you said there were 3 cleanup areas you noted,
Yes,
and then the rest were the droplets that you noted that we've seen.
correct.
For the on the blood trail on the floor, evidence marker 1, I think, and evidence marker 2, you took swabs from those. Is that right?
Yes.
And then did you package those and send them off, maintain those, and then send them off to the GBI to be tested?
There were more swabs taken. At that time, I believe there were a total of, they were marked EM1 to EM10,
Right?
and I believe there were a total of 18.
Right, and then I think EM1, EM2, which turns out to be
Yes.
GBI item 14A and 14C.
Yes, correct.
All I'm asking is, all the swabs you took, evidence marker 1, evidence marker 2, which is GBI 14A, 14C, those were sent to be tested.
Correct.
And do you know the results of that testing? We've stipulated, you know they're back though, right?
Yes.
Okay. We'll get to them later on in the trial.
Okay.
And you help collect those, maintain those, and then also, I think you help baggage and transport everything as we talked about, and that's pretty much what you did on that day, is that right?
Correct.
And then I believe on July 25th of 2019, about a little more than a year later, you came back, and what'd y'all come back to do?
There was known to be an area on the property that was used for just, I think, what I would assume would be recreational shooting targets type shooting. So we came back to look for and collect possible projectiles and or cartridge casings.
Just trying to match them up, see if you can match it to what was used in the murder.
Correct.
Did y'all collect a bunch of stuff?
We did.
I mean, how much stuff did y'all collect?
I don't recall the quantity of,
But a bunch of different casings, projectiles, and
Yes.
things like that.
yes.
And did you send all that to the GBI to be tested?
I don't recall, but if it's in the records, then we did.
Right. So some of the stuff you did send for testing.
Okay.
And I believe that's all you did outside of maybe helping with the burn pile, but that was really, I think, Investigator Shaw's
Yes.
task with that.
Yeah.
Judge, I might just have one moment.